Welcome to Get Organized Challenge number 8, our last Get Organized Challenge of the series. And this challenge is really about traveling with your supplies. And hopefully, as you move through the organization process, it's going to be a lot easier to actually attend a crop or a class or some type of event with your craft supplies. So let's start with this week's winners. I got to put on my glasses for this one. So our first winner is Tertia Odisher. And she's already had a lot of stuff organized. Her mementos are organized, but she needs to fine-tune them a little bit. And she says she's determined to finish cataloging her stamps and dies. But really, kind of the cool thing at the end of her post is, I've already reaped the benefits by being able to find things quickly, and I'm excited to have everything at my fingertips. Yay! So congratulations, Tertia. Our second winner is Margaret Wrench, and she's got kind of a long post. She kind of goes through the process of, I've done some things, I haven't quite got this done, I haven't quite got that done. One of the things she's gotten really good at, though, she says, is downloading her photos and putting them onto zip drives and getting the photos organized. And she says, this is a fun comment, it's a huge project, but every bit that gets done is done, which is important to remember. Unlike cooking and cleaning, which is constantly reoccurring, right? So as you get these things done, especially photos and mementos, you are going to, they're going to be done. So you'll be ready to work with them. One of the other important things here is, as Margaret is talking about in her post, about, you know, as she keeps working through things, that if you're new, if this is the first time you've taken the Get Organized Challenge, you want to keep in mind that your craft supplies and your photos and your mementos and all those things probably didn't get in disarray over a short 8-week period, so you're probably don't have them all organized over this short 8-week period. Well, we had kind of an extendo challenge this time because I was gone in the middle, but it's important to keep coming back to the challenge, work on the things that you didn't get done in the first challenge that you took, and then fine-tune things as you're moving through. So if you look at the comments either on the Facebook page or in the group chat, there's many, many people who've taken the challenge more than once. And even if you've kind of got your stuff dialed in, it's good to get reminders, and it's also good to be on board because there's so many new people every challenge who need a little bit of help and inspiration and motivation, and they can totally benefit from you sharing your ideas. So whether you continue to come to the challenge on Tuesdays, our next challenge is going to start at the end of January. We'll put the dates up. Probably, I think Karen's working on that now, so probably by the end of the week they'll be up on the challenge page. So after you get through Christmas and everything and you're ready to settle down and get organized, end of January is where we're going to start. Okay, so we've got the winners. Here's what we're talking about. We're talking about preparing to go somewhere, probably a crop or a class. And as many of you know, I go to lots of scrapbook expos and creating keepsakes conventions and a lot of crafting events where they have these giant crops, and I get to go and talk to croppers, and sometimes I get to participate in the crop. And what I found after years of doing this is it's the same. It's been the same for years. The people who bring the most stuff get the least amount done, right? One of the reasons we bring too much stuff is because we're not organized to just be able to pare it down and bring what we need. And so we spend a lot of time packing up just so we'll have everything. We don't want to leave anything behind. Most of you are going to have that problem solved by taking the Get Organized Challenge. It's going to be easier to bring less stuff. But in this case, traveling to an event, less is definitely more. Less time packing is going to give you more time crafting, less to pack up at the end of the crop, less things to carry, more space in your car. I mean, there's just less is more when you're going to an event. The other thing is, when you bring lots of stuff, you have to make decisions about what to work on, and you see all of this stuff, and it causes a little bit of what we call paralysis by analysis, right? You think about too many things. What should I do? What are my choices? And your brain gets overwhelmed with choices. The brain does not like a lot of choices, right? A couple of choices are perfect. Dozens of choices are going to really slow you down. There's a lot of psychology around this and a lot of tests and studies. And one of them that always jumps out for me is the JAM test, where a local grocery store put jam out to sample, and this brand of jam had 18 different flavors. And the first time they put the jam out, they only put out 6 flavors of jam for people to try with crackers, and the sales of that jam skyrocketed for the day. And then the next weekend, the store manager said, well, we sold so much, let's put out all 18 flavors, and then people can try everything, and the sales will really go through the roof. But what happened, the sales declined. Why? Because there's too many good choices. I guess you could also say there's too much good jam, like if they had 12 flavors of jam that didn't taste good, maybe that would be a different result. But keep that in mind. Your brain doesn't like to make a lot of decisions. It doesn't like a lot of things and choices in front of you, right? So keep it simple when you're going to a crop. What are you going to do? What are we going to do? Here's the steps you're going to take. Step number 1, same as I think almost every other challenge, is gather, right? First thing you're going to do is gather information, because when you pay to go to a crop or a class or some type of event, you're paying for not only your table space, not only the time with your friends, maybe it's supporting a charity, but you're also paying for whatever the crop host is providing to you. It might be lunch, it might be dinner, it might be snacks, but it's probably there's probably some sort of tools involved. So when you go to like a scrapbook expo crop, they have a whole area that's just tools, everything from embossing folders and dies and stamps, all the things that you might want to use, they're all there. So you don't want to bring things to the event that are already provided by the host. That's what you're paying for. So the first thing you want to do, gather information about what the host is providing. The second thing you want to do is gather information about what your friends are bringing, right? There's no reason for all of you to bring the same things, right? And it could be things as small as like a MISTI stamp tool, or as big as a Cricut machine, right? So who has the best transportation for those things? If all of you use Cricut, but one of your friends has a nice Cricut tote bag, just let her bring the Cricut, and then you guys can all share her machine. You might bring your MISTI, whatever it is, but you don't all need to bring everything, right? Especially crop space is so limited. Sometimes it's 2 people at a 6-foot table and you're only getting 3 feet apiece. And sometimes it's 2 people at an 8-foot table and you're only getting 4 feet apiece. So keep that in mind. Your space is limited. Gather information. What's the host bringing? What are your friends bringing? And then think about what tools you can leave behind. For those of you who are on board with your catalogs and you have all your catalogs done, one of the beautiful things about the catalog is you can take the catalog with you, and you're going to know what you have at home. Dies, stamps, embossing folders, punches, any of that stuff, and you're going to know the size and shape of it. So you can take sticky notes and a catalog and say, okay, on this layout, I'm going to add, punch of whatever it is. It's punch number 104. Just put a sticky note on that. When you get home, you can punch it out and add it. Things like glitter glues that take a long time to dry. If you're going to finish a project with glitter glue, you got to wait for it to dry to haul it home. But if you know what color glitter glues you have in your catalog, you can just say, okay, I'm going to finish this Halloween layout with this black and orange glitter glue when I get home. Sticky note, and you can finish it when you get home, or you can leave it out to dry, right? So that catalog, the color catalog and the tool catalog are both going to serve you well. Less things to haul with you when you go to a crop or an event. The other thing you want to know about information is how much time are you actually going to spend cropping, right? So when you go to an event, especially if it's a weekend event, you probably want to shop, you probably want to chat with your friends, you are maybe going to sleep, you're definitely going to eat, right? So there's all of those other things. So just because you're going from Friday to Sunday doesn't mean you're going to spend all those hours cropping. So realistically, how many hours are you going to spend cropping? Step number 2 is to make the decision about what you're going to do when you're at the event. Are you going to work on a specific project? And when I say a specific project, are you working on a specific mixed media type album? Or are you making all of your Christmas cards or wedding invitations? Or are you scrapbooking, right? So just defining what you're going to do first is really important. Because it's going to lead you into how you're going to pack for what you're going to do. So step 3 is to create a packing list based on the project that you're going to work on. So you have your project specific things, and then you also have your sort of general crafting things. So there's a crop packing list that you can download on the Get Organized Challenge page, and this is a really simple, basic, let's get started kind of list. And you'll notice I've divided it up into 2 columns, out and back, right? So one of the things that happens when you're at an event like this is you lend stuff out, you borrow other people's things. This is going to make sure that what you took is what comes home with you. Super simple. You can start with this and then just add your own things to it, keep it really basic. So one of the other things I recommend about this is keeping it handy when you're actually at the event, because during the event you're going to think about, oh, I wish I would have brought my X, and then you can write that down on there. And at the end of the event you can say, wow, I didn't use this, I didn't use that, I probably don't need to haul that to the next event, and cross it off. So it gives you kind of a living list, a growing list. After one of the challenges, one of our participants, Jana, submitted the way that she packs and her packing list, and I thought it was just amazing. And there's a link to that as well on our website, and it's actually 3 pages, and she sort of goes through what she's taking to crop with, and what she needs to do before she goes to the event, what she needs to bring and get ready for the event. And then she has a final packing list that kind of takes her all around the house, which I thought was brilliant. So if she, in her family room, that's where she's got her camera charger and her phone charger. She wants to make sure and pack those up. So they're in the family room list. So the clothes that she's taking, this is everything for going to an event. It's really a really simple way, and really cute too. She did an amazing job with it. That's also available. So if you like a really detailed list and you want to cover everything, not just your crafting, but everything that you're taking, that's a great way to go. Both of those are downloadable on the website or printable. The next step is to gather up your supplies. So using the list that you've created and the plan that you have for what you're going to work on, you're going to gather everything up and get it ready to pack. And when I say gather it up, what I'm going to recommend that you do is lay it out on a table, on your bed, whatever big surface you have, the things that you're planning on taking. That's going to do 2 things for you. First of all, you're going to gather everything and you're going to put it on the table or the bed. And I think about this like packing for a trip, right? This is where my OCD is going to pop out. So when I pack for a trip, I lay out around my bed, starting from day 1 to the end of the trip, right? What I'm flying home in. And then, so it's everything. It's jewelry, it's clothes, it's jewelry, it's accessories, it's shoes and socks, right? And then I move along day by day by day. And when I pack up in reverse. So the last thing I'm going to wear is at the bottom of my suitcase. And the first thing I'm going to wear is at the top of my suitcase, right? So I want you to think about that system as you are planning to pack. Everything's out and you want to pack it up in reverse so that when you get to the event you can start setting things up without having to dig past other things. All right, so through the magic of video, I am going to take you through a little crop event setup. So bear with me for just 1 minute while we get a new studio. Okay, here I am with my crop tote in tow, and here, sorry, I'm probably out of the camera, and here I am at my crop table. I'll sit down so you can maybe see everything a little bit better. So the first thing I have is my crop seat, and for those of you who are familiar with the crop seat, this is a chair cover that is going to go over my my hard metal and also cold folding chair at the crop. So I'm going to put it together really quickly. So it has these little tabs that fold under or come down depending on the type of chair you have. I'm not going to talk too much about products, but at the end of the video, for those of you who want to learn more about products, stick around and I will talk specifically about each of the products that I'm using. and answer product questions, etc. You can see it's just really simple. Each of the tabs, there's really wide hook and loop fabric on here, so it makes it simple to really grab, and it's pretty adjustable. So I'm just lining up the corners. Why do I love the crop seat? I love the crop seat because I can put everything in it from snacks in the big pockets on one side to my sort of all the time use stuff. So scissors, tools, all that kind of stuff. Now what else do I have? It also comes in a handy, dandy little bag to carry it. Now what else do I have? I have kind of the basic things that I need. So this is my MISTI tool, right? And then in here is my tool bag. It's got kind of all the basic things that I need. One of the nice things about this at an event is I can split it open, and now if I craft next or across from somebody who likes to encroach on my space, I've kind of created this barrier, but at the same time I can grab all my tools, and these are kind of all my favorites right here. As you can tell, I look around, I love We Are tools. I think they do an amazing job. Now this tote bag is empty. What can I do with it when it's empty? I can either just fold it up, right, fold it down totally flat. I'm going to set it aside for a minute. I can hang on the back of my chair. I can use it as a shopping tote when I go over to shop. Spoiler alert, just so you know. This is the new Laura bag, and it'll be available in December, and I will talk about it in just a minute and get my shoulder strap here. But I just slid the handle through the back, and now I can just pop that off. Right, that's going to sit on the floor next to me as well. Inside my crop tote, again, I've got a few basic tools. I've got a fab file full of rainbow paper, but what else I have is my scrap rack. So I'm going to take all the pieces of the scrap rack out. Now I only put 3 spinders of stuff in here. You can take up to 7 depending on how fully loaded they are. So depending on what you're crafting about and the way that you're organized, right? So if you are going to work on Christmas pictures at the event, you don't need to bring the sports section of your scrap rack, right? You just need to bring the sections that you're going to work with. So rainbow is going to be in there, definitely. And then if you're working on Christmas, you're just going to bring your holiday and seasonal stuff, or depending on how you have it set up on a spinder, you're going to bring just your December spinder, not all of your holidays. And then one of the things I love about the tote is, and I'll turn it so you can see it, is that the scrap rack sits right on the lid of the tote, and it's right at chair height. So I'm able to create this little space with all my supplies. Put my spinders on here. So in just a few minutes, while my friends, well, not my friends because they all have a scrap rack, but while other people are digging around trying to find their supplies, I can literally, I'm going to turn my back to you so you can see my little setup here, right? So if I'm at an event, I'm going to put this in one of the big pockets on the side of my tote. But here I am in my small little space. I've got everything I need at my fingertips. Oh, I got some loose paper in there. I've got everything I need at my fingertips. And on this side, I'm going to open up my Laura tote. And now I have access to everything that's in my Laura tote. Everything's right at my fingertips. And I can pull things out, use them, put them away. I can get to my scissors without losing them. I can also slide my scissors right into my side pocket here. Maybe I have a favorite ruler that I also want to put in my side pocket so it's easy to get to. I've got my water bottle. So basically I've arranged everything around me to sort of create this reach and work space. Very simple, very easy. And you just watched me set it all up, right? So because I have my supplies organized, because I was able to plan ahead, what do I need? What am I going to take? I used my checklist. Do I have adhesives? Do I have scissors? Do I have my 12 by 12 cutting mat? You can't see it, but I think I put it in the back. Oh yeah, there it is. 12 by 12 cutting mat, right? I can work with that here. I can also slide it right in here. And put my little straps behind. So now I can pull it in and out from my seat. This might be my catalog. It happens to be my Flower Power binder, but it could be my catalog. When I need it, I can pull it out and I can slide it back. So think about, as you're preparing to go to a crafting event, the things that you have and the space that you have. Can you create a little nest, basically, of craft supplies where you can get to everything quickly and easily? You can see it, you can take it out, right? Big paper trimmer, easy to pull in and out. My ATG, one of my favorite things. One of the problems with things like scissors and rulers and tape runners is when they're on your workspace, things get set on top of them, and then first of all you have to find them and unbury everything, right? We constantly move everything around. So if you have tools and supplies that you can just drop that back into, there happens to be a pocket here too that you can put your ATG in if that's what you like to work with. Think about your space. How am I using it? How can I condense it down? How much space do I have? Can I surround myself with those supplies at a crafting event? It's going to make it so much easier for you to actually get done. Now when I'm ready to go, I'm just going to reverse the process. It's going to be equally simple to take everything off. Well, I can do it while I'm talking, right? So I'm going to break down my scrap rack. I'm just going to take all the binders off that I brought with me. Now, you might have set up your holding album. Try not to make too much noise because I know my microphone picks everything up. You might not have, you might have set up a holding album on a binder, right? On a binder, and then you can just put that holding album binder right on your scrap rack at the event. If you're not using a scrap rack, right, you can use the opening here, take the lid off, and now you can reach in and out of your tote real easily. One of the nice things about the crop crate is the fact that it does actually have the lid. So that lid adds a little bit more table space to your area. Just going to put everything back in. Now when I load these in the crop crate, I reverse the binder. So I put a binder on this side and then a binder on the other side. Just kind of condenses it down a little bit more. But even, you know, with 3 binders in there, there's still room. In goes my rainbow paper. In goes this. I've got this extra paper that popped out. I'm going to slide it back in there. I'm going to throw my Misty in there. This is just in a 1-inch Stamp Store and Go bag. Put the lid back on. Put my major supplies back in here. If I look while I'm doing it, it's going to be easier, right? So in just a few minutes, oh, I need my glasses. I'm going to have everything repacked up and ready to go. Super simple. When I get home, I'm just going to reverse the process again. So keeping things organized at home allows you to travel with them organized to a crafting event and then bring them home organized as well. So super simple. Choose, what do you need to do? For this week's challenge assignment, hang on, I'm going to get my list. I will talk about all the products individually after when we finish with the challenge. So for those of you who have questions about products or want details about products, I'll go through each one of them after the challenge. Oh, and I didn't even show you. Oh, another spoiler alert. I'm going to talk about the new Laura bag, but also we have a brand new Buddy bag that I'm going to introduce after class also. Okay, so here's your challenge for this week. First, Find a tote that you want to use for going to crops and classes exclusively if possible, right? So there are some basic things that you can keep preloaded into your crop tote. Some people keep a paper trimmer, scissors, like kind of basic tools just already preloaded depending on how many events you go to. It makes it really simple. But even if you don't do that, having a tote that's dedicated just to going to crafting events means that when you are going to a crafting event, you don't have to take a tote that has something else in it and unload everything and put that away or whatever and then come back and reload it. So if you can get a dedicated tote, that's ideal. You want to create your packing list of must-haves. So these are the things that you know that you craft with regardless of where you are or when you're crafting. Rulers, scissors, tape runners, all kind of the basic things. You want to make sure that you have all of those on your list. A good way to create that list is the next time that you sit down to craft, just get a note paper and write down all the things that you use all the time as you're actually doing it, and that can be the start of your list. You can also start with one of the lists that we have on the website, download it, bring it to your workspace, and add your own things to it. It'll give you a good jumping off point. The next thing you're going to do is decide how much you can actually get done at a crop, right? So if you think that when you're crafting and you think that you can get a page done in an hour, then if you're going to a 12-hour crop and you're going to crop 6 of those 12 hours, then you know you only need to bring enough stuff to do 6 pages. If you're somebody that can get 2 pages done in an hour or 4 pages done in an hour, knowing that about yourself and how you create is going to be a really good indicator of how much stuff that you should take with you. One of the things, excuse me, that happens is that we think or we get nervous about or afraid that we're going to run out of things to do at the crop, right? If I'm going to work on my Christmas albums, what if I get those done? Then what will I do, right? There's that sort of fear factor. Well, by planning out, by acknowledging how much you can do, just keeping track of how much crafting you can do, how much scrapbooking or card making you can do in an hour, that's going to help. And that's going to relieve that pressure on your brain because you have knowledge of how much you can actually do. But you can always just add to that. Okay, if I can do 2 pages an hour, I'm going to say I'm going to bring 25% more. So I'm going to say for every 4 hours that I work, I can get 2 more pages done, right? So now I have 25% more work than I think I can get done, which is going to cover that sort of gray area of what if I get everything done, right? The other thing is, if you think about how much you do get done, if you've been to other crafting events and you think about how much you do get done, for most people, they get considerably less done at an event than they do at home because there's so much other stuff going on. There's games and contests and shopping and friends and eating and visiting and looking at what other people are doing. And there's flash sales where vendors come into the crop and you go and power shop for 10 minutes and all that kind of stuff. So keep all that in mind as you're planning, and then just bring a little bit more than you think you can get done and keep track of it so that you know. And maybe keep track of how much time did I really spend crafting, how much was shopping and how much was eating and visiting and all those good things. So that's your third thing to do. Decide how much you can get done and then add a percentage to that. 20 or 25% is going to cover you for an event, so your brain doesn't have to worry about running out of things to do. The next thing you want to do is post your progress on Facebook, because Karen will choose a winner next week just for fun for this last challenge. So you still want to post your progress on Facebook, or put up or send us a progress post via email so that you can get in on that. And then last but not least, you want to celebrate with your reward. Woo! All right. So for those of you who are going to sign off at this point, I want to thank you so much for joining me for the last 2018 Get Organized Challenge. We will start a new challenge at the end of January, and as I mentioned earlier, Karen will be putting up the dates for that probably by the end of this week, so you can know what's going on. But it is going to be towards the end of January that will start. I think that's all the public service information I need to give you. Now let's talk about a couple of things. I'm going to start with our brand new stuff, and then I'll go through this. So this is a spoiler alert. These 2 items are, like I said, brand new. Well, the Laura bag I'm sorry, Leanne, can you see that okay? Okay. So the Laura bag is something that we had a couple of years ago, and we've been asked for it. It's definitely a popular demand item. So we made a few modifications to the Laura bag. So I'll just start with sort of the premise of the Laura bag. I wanted a bag that I could carry that had a slim profile, so it was easy to carry up against my body when I was at shopping, crafting events, right? I needed something big enough to hold 12 by 12 paper and something that was sturdy enough to protect the things that I had bought and would keep everything kind of nice and neat and organized in the process. And that is how Laura was born. Laura has a double zipper on the top. There's a little hook and loop at the end, double zipper on the top, and the top is clear so you can see into the bag, which also was important to me on a number of levels, especially as you get older and you have to have reading glasses for everything. I wanted to be able to make it as easy as possible to see into the bag. There are metal triangle hooks and metal hooks on the shoulder strap, and also a little pad on the shoulder strap as well. When you open a Laura up, no, let's start with the outside. So outside, there's a flap on this side, and there's a big pocket underneath, big enough for 12 by 12. So if I was going to work on, in this case, this is some mementos from a trip to China, I've got everything in a collection keeper, nice, neat, and tucked away and safe inside that pocket, and then it has a flap on it. This is just a large flat band, and that's so your Laura bag can slide over the handle of your pull-up. The other side also has a large flat exterior pocket, but what we've done is there's a strip of hook and a strip of loop inside this, so that if you have things that you want to segment off, so I had this segmented off, I've got rulers here, and I've got a paper trimmer here, and I can just create the individual pockets that I need. This also allowed, if you have a bigger, wider paper trimmer or something else, or if you wanted to tuck in paintbrushes or whatever it is, so it kind of allows you to customize that pocket for long, thin things. And then we didn't put a flap on this, again, so you could have things that would stick up, that would pop up if you needed them to over the edge there. So let's look at the inside. The inside of the bag is light silver or dove gray. Why? Because as you get older, when you look into a black bag full of black things or dark things, it's hard to find what you need. So the interior is light colored because it makes it easier to see things. Now, the Laura bag was designed to hold buddy bags, right? So depending on the buddy bags that you're carrying with you, so this is Brandy, she's full of rulers and border making tools, long skinny tools. This is my Edna bag full of ribbon. The thing is, when you set Laura down next to your chair, you can pull those bags that you're working with in and out quickly and easily, right? I'm going to pull it out, I'm going to use what I need, and then I'm going to drop it back into the hole that was left behind. So super simple. This is the Denise Buddy bag, right? I have her loaded up with markers. One of the beautiful things about Denise is that when you're using the Denise bag, you can have it on your workspace, right? Pull markers in and out. Now, what fits in here? Sarah Davies Spectrum Noir, Sarah Davies Colorista, so any of those, that brand, are going to fit in there. There's also, I don't have my glasses on. Where did I put those? There they are. There's also another brand that's kind of the same size. This is, oh, Jane Davenport, right? So those are going to fit in there as well. Anything that's that size is going to fit in there. Also, Copic Junkies, those fit in there as well. You can, the stats are on our website, but I believe almost 100 of the bigger markers will fit in there, and probably 150 Copics if I'm remembering correctly. But there's 3 different little segments in the Denise bag, which is why you can pull markers out, and the rest of the markers in that section are going to stand up so you can get to them because they're all in the little individual boxes. But so that's the Denise Buddy bag. Whoop, in there. All right. So, we have a brand new Buddy bag. I'm so excited. This is our brand new Leanne Buddy bag. And Leanne is a tall, thin girl, and you can see she goes all the way right up. Well, you probably can't see because I have my paper trimmer in there. She goes all the way right up to the very top of the Laura bag. You can fit 4 of the Leanne bags across inside the Laura. I didn't have time to load up a bunch of these, but this one I have just loaded up with inks. Leanne opens all the way up like this. So on your workspace, I wonder if you could, oh yeah, look at that. I just rolled that over and stuck it back down. So on your workspace, really accessible. If you're storing inks and you want to keep them flat, then you just turn it on its side and now all your inks can be flat if that's how you have them lined up in there. So I've got Close to My Heart, Stampin' Up, Quick Quotes, Stephanie Bernard, Color Box, and Catherine Pooler inks in there, but it'll literally hold tons of inks. Now, the idea behind this bag was not for inks, they're just conveniently fit in there, was as kind of a catch-all, right? So there are some things that are taller, longer, shorter, fatter, that don't really fit into other pockets. So just a way to kind of transport those things that maybe don't quite fit anywhere else, or maybe you just have one. You don't want to fill a whole Buddy bag with embellishment paste because you just have one of those and you want to put it in there. But great for tools. Leanne, who it's named after, and I were talking about it just before we started today, and it might also be a great travel accessory. And she was saying long things like hairbrushes and hairspray and big stuff like that that you're never quite sure what to do with in your bag, you could really condense a bunch of stuff down into it. So just a super versatile. Our new girl Leanne, and because she's got sort of the locking tabs all the way around, things don't fall off. You can stand her up. Oh, the other thing we talked about is kids crafts that you, or kids office supplies, or colored pencils, colored markers, scissors, glue, all kind of the basic things that your kids or grandkids might be using, whether they're just having fun or they're working on school projects. But it's an easy take along too because of the lid and the handle, and it's a little bit bigger and wider. So that is the Leanne Buddy bag. Leanne and Laura will both be available. Okay, another spoiler alert. We're having the 12 Days of Christmas sale, which starts obviously December 1st. And the Laura bag will be the 12 Days of Christmas special on day 12. She will come alone. If you just want the Laura bag, she will also come in a kit with paper handlers and Buddy bags as well. The kit, the paper handlers and Buddy bags, will also be available on Home Shopping Network, HSN, on the January 8th 24-hour craft day event. So if you want it for yourself before Christmas, you can buy it from us on the 12 Days of Christmas sale on the 12th day, December 12th. If you want to wait and purchase from HSN, it'll be January 8th. I do not know what the purchase price will be from Home Shopping Network on January 8th. They don't tell me this far in advance, usually just a day or two before the show is when I find out. So I will tell you though, HSN always has the best price. That's it, in a nutshell. Okay, so the Laura bag, the Leanne bag, what else am I working with? I'm working with the crop seat, and the crop seat has the 3 panels. It's the seat panel and then the 2 sides. Both sides have a 12 by 12 pocket, a big 12 by 12 pocket. This side has smaller pockets. There's a video about this on our website too. We rotate. Right, this side has bigger 12 by 12 pocket, and then it has a big pocket here which I originally thought of as a snack pocket, right? I love chips and cookies and that kind of stuff. And so this was a good place for me to be able to reach down and get snacks, but it also works great as a trash pocket. So you see on the website, if you take just a regular like plastic shopping bag and roll it down into there, you've got a little trash pocket. Water bottle pocket here, and then, like I said, the big 12 by 12 pocket here. So super versatile, great for storing bigger things. 12 by 12 rotating design board, the scrapbooker's rotating design board, magnetic design tool, your 12 by 12 cutting mat. You can even put a 12 by 12 fab file in there. So if you have paper in a fab file that you want to put into there, you can tuck that in as well. So that's the crop seat. I have everything out here today in turquoise, but all of it does come in black, pink, and purple as well. The Ditto tool bag, the double-sided tool bag. So this is a favorite. Anybody who has one loves it. Once you get it loaded up, you can carry it by the handle. It splits open, as you saw earlier, so it's great. Even if you work at home, if you need to organize your craft tools at home, and then you want to be able to just put all your favorite things in there, and then you're going to go to an event, you can just close it up and take it along with you, right? So you can work with it at home, close it up, and take it with you. Super simple, kind of the same premise as a scrap rack. This is what I use all the time at home. I don't have to think about what I'm using or what I'm taking. I can just close that up and take it with me. You can either carry it in your hand, right, like this, or you can carry it in your lowest tote. Now this was, again, a happy accident that the lowest tote fit the Ditto bag. So there's a couple of pockets on the inside of the lowest tote. You just need to make sure you're not hooking your bag on those pockets. But now, one of the nice things about it is with the Ditto bag, you had it to carry it in your hand. It took up a hand, right? Well, once you put it into a lowest bag, now your tool bag can go over your shoulder as opposed to having to be in your hand. Take up a hand, right? Last but not least is our crop crate with the apron. So you can see all the pockets on the outside here, the large side pocket. So this is, a rainbow of washi tape this is a 1.5 inch Stamp Store and Go punch pack bag, and I've got just tons of washi tape in there, but everything's accessible. I've got this is our 12 by 12 craft binder. I have this one loaded up with flowers, my flower power binder. But if you were using a craft binder, maybe as your holding album, then it's really easy to just slide that right into the back pocket. Again, my 12 by 12 cutting mat is in there, and then I've got a variety of pockets on the front. And just from the design perspective, the pockets on this are the things that you're using all the time, the things that you need to grab all the time and put away all the time. So this weird little paper trimmer pocket, people always say to me, why is that like that? It's just kind of a weird side pocket. And that's because as you're sitting, working, you want to be able to pull that out and put it back easily, right? If it was a pocket over here, I would have to bend over and open the pocket and put it in or look to see where it is. But because it's just on the side, I can see it. It's roomy. I can stuff it in there. I have seen people put 2 or 3 paper trimmers in there. I don't think it's as easy to pull them out, but I guess especially for transport, you could put a couple of paper trimmers in. These are both kind of bulky. So the flatter maybe, if you use the Fiskars gray, flat gray paper trimmer. But the idea is, can I reach it and can I use that pocket? Can I access those basic tools quickly and easily? You've got a little piece of, I can't think of the name of it right now, webbing right here with a hook on it. And I just have a pair of tweezers hooked on it at the moment, but this is a great place to just hook your car keys, right? You don't want to lose them. Hook your car keys, and you can even flip it inside the lid, kind of get it out of the way, and then when you need something, you can pull it out. I also used to keep on this, I had these little, I think they were made by Tonic, these little shredders that for distressing tools. They were not shredders, distressing tools, but they had a little loop at the end, so I was able to clip them on there. So basically the outside pockets are designed for the things you use all the time and that you can have access to them, whether you've got a scrap rack on top of your tote, or if you're just filling the tote with buddy bags and other types of things that you want to be able to grab in and out, right? The lid's going to fit in the back. You're going to be able to access everything, use it, put it back as you're working with it, and then put the lid on and roll it home. So that is my crop class event ensemble. I've got the crop crate with the apron. I've got my ditto bag, tool bag. I've got my Lois tote. I have my Laura bag filled with, oh yeah, and my crop seat. And then my Laura bag is filled with a variety of buddy bags. If you're unfamiliar with the buddy bags, we've got a buddy bag for that. What do you need to put in it? Inks, chalks, pens, scissors, adhesives, any of those kind of things. So this is Gail. All the buddy bags have girls' names. This is Gail. She's loaded up with adhesives. Again, when I'm at an event, I can fold back the lid, and now whether I need a vellum tape runner, dots, permanent, repositionable, photo corners, pop dots, liquid glue, glue stick, everything's open and accessible. I can pull it out, use it, and then drop it back in so it's not buried on my work surface, right? So think about when you're planning that crop, how you crop, where you crop, when you crop, what you crop with, and how you actually move around your space, and what are going to be the best tools for you in a crop environment. So thanks so much for tuning in today. Karen hasn't headed up the stairs with any questions, so that probably means we've just done an amazing job answering all your questions today during class. But if you do have questions, you can go to the Facebook page and ask questions on the Facebook page, or you can email us directly at customerservice@totally-tiffany.com. Thanks again for tuning in. We look forward to talking with you soon. I hope all of you sign up for the 2019 challenge, Get Organized Challenge, and don't miss out on the 12 Days of Christmas event, which is going to start December 1st. Thanks again. Have a great day.